Hey guys, Arito Shadestalker here, gonna show you a video on leveling Leatherworker. This is trade crafting in Guild Wars 2. So basically the idea is you've got yourself a whole bunch of crafting materials and you've got to go to one of these crafting stations. So in this case we're going to the leatherworking station, and you just use that and it opens up this window. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to refinement and craft all of your base materials. So for Leatherworker, that's going to be the leather scraps and stuff that you get off of drops and salvages and that sort of thing. And then also cloth, which in this case is jute because we're starting at level 1. As you go through the game, of course, the tiers of materials change. You'll notice that when you hit craft all, it just sort of flies through them. And by the time we are done, we shall have gained quite a few levels, 16 levels, just from crafting our base materials. These are the materials that are used in pretty much every one. So you see here how I've got, I'm trying to make a bag, an invisible bag, but I can't do it because I need it. It says required rating level 35. So I just can't do it until I'm level 35. See, I can make this, whatever it is. So we'll just go ahead and hit that and see what it is. Oh, so it's a rune of life. That's, you know, you can add it to armor and it adds plus 10 health. Yeah, and so that's kind of the idea is you go to this crafting page on the top tab. You can throw something in the box there, and if you can make it, you learn a new recipe. Yeah, so there's these other tabs. You've got access to the collections tab of your bank, which is really nice and handy. So you don't have to go back to the bank to get your stuff out of it. Your stuff has to be in the inventory, but you can use your bank as extra inventory space right here at the crafting station. So another just sort of useful, handy user interface feature they put in. The next thing you're going to want to do is make some insignias for Leatherworker. This is specific to Leatherworker, but you need insignias in order to make armor pieces, and you need to make armor pieces in order to gain levels so that you unlock more recipes. In Beta Weekend 1 and 2, I got myself to level 170-ish Leatherworker. It's not too bad. It's kind of like the first quarter of leveling Leatherworker. You can make up to around level 35 armor. And you can make green level 35 armor, which is really nice because if you're planning on doing dungeons and that sort of thing, you need to have greens or better. You see, I go to the merchant there, and you got to buy some crafting materials, spools of thread. You just need the thread in order to make these things. We're making crafting components. I'm just making each item, as you can see, has 2 components. So there's a boot sole and a boot upper. There's chest guard padding, there's chest guard panel, there's legging strap, legging panel. Every armor piece has 2 kind of halves to it. And one half, as you can see, is primarily cloth-based. So in the first tier, that's jute. You make your bolts of jute out of refinement, and you get some spool of jute thread. The other half is actually leather-based, which you also need thread for. And I'm just organizing my inventory. So you see, this is, you need your rawhide squares and jute thread. So they both need thread, but one of them is leather-based and the other is cloth-based. So you kind of need an even mix of both before you start crafting. And then you just throw in the 2 corresponding pieces and an insignia. Hit craft. So you got these 3 pieces, you hit craft, and usually you'll gain a level every time you do this. You might gain a few, actually. But, so you just kind of go through, you make one of each. You can kind of decide what you've got the most of in terms of materials if you're just leveling, or you can try and craft what you think people will buy, because if you can make a decent amount of money out of this. I made a good maybe 1 or 2 gold in the first betas off of selling my stuff because I was crafting to what I thought people would want. For example, a lot of power precision gear, a lot of, you know, I just have a feeling that people don't understand condition damage and healing and that kind of thing, so I didn't make that much stuff. And it did sell. So if you can make that kind of money off of this, it's good because it will enable you to buy materials that are sometimes pretty rare or expensive in order to make the armor that you want to make for yourself, or just to get over those humps that are sort of difficult, you know, where you're trying to level your craft and you just don't have a lot of stuff to make in order to level it. I can make a leather pack, so if you add glittering dust to the recipe of making a pack, it makes it an invisible pack. And you can see here on this tab, you can also add runes of holding, which cost quite a bit of money, but they increase, see, 8, 12, and then the other ones just go up from there. But you have to be certain levels, like 75, 25, and so on. So you add a rune of holding to make a bigger bag, and you add glittering dust to the recipe to make an invisible bag. Now, what is an invisible bag? They're useful in that, here we're going to make one, an invisible bag. They're useful in that anything you put in an invisible bag will not show up under merchant sell tabs and will not get moved around when your inventory gets shuffled for one reason or another. So that's useful. I usually have 2 invisible bags and then the rest regular bags. And then I just decide what I want, you know, to be invisible and what stuff I want to make sure shows up for sale. So here we're just adding that bag, and I've got an invisible, so we just swap it out. The nice thing is when you swap bags in and out like that, it doesn't... You don't have to empty them, you don't have to mess with the inventory. It just adds slots. So when you're upgrading bags, that's convenient. But let's see, we're level 33, we're gonna make some more. So now we've unlocked the second, you know, tier of insignias, which is precise, resilient, healing. You can read what those are in the description. But we're just gonna make some of those, and we're gonna make masks, because masks take the least amount of materials. So when you're kind of in these humps like this, like I need to get to level 50-ish or so to make the next tier, I'm just going to make a bunch of masks. As you can see, just drop a strap in. You can double click, hit craft, double click. Oh, you gotta hit close. Double click, craft, and now I'm already level 42. So you just keep on carrying on. I don't have enough stuff really to finish this. Normally I would just go to the trading post and buy some more rawhide, or, you know, you can always just go out. You could salvage stuff. You could even salvage the stuff you just made. I could use my salvage kit and salvage those masks I just made to get some leather back. It's kinds of things that you can do in order to level the trade skill. Is actually pretty easy. So yeah, that's just a basic overview of how to level Leatherworker in Guild Wars 2. So, see you next time.